The year is 1600. In the kitchens of Wawel Castle, they are preparing a pike, but not any ordinary pike. The head will be fried, the middle will be boiled, the tail will be roasted. One fish, 3 cooking methods, served whole. Sigismund III Vasa, King of Poland and Grand Duke of Lithuania, briefly King of Sweden. He rules the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, one of the largest states in Europe. His reign will last 45 years. His table will be remembered for centuries. This is the golden age of Polish Baroque cuisine, a time when spices were currency and sugar was medicine, when a pike with 3 cooking methods was considered simple. Wawel Castle, the residence of Polish kings since the 11th century. Rebuilt in the Renaissance style under Sigismund I, the castle sits on a limestone hill above the Vistula River. Gothic towers, Renaissance arcades, Baroque additions, 1,000 years of architecture on a single hill. Here, kings are crowned, here, kings are buried, and here, they feast. The transformation began 60 years earlier. When Bona Sforza of Milan married Sigismund I in 1518, she brought Italian cooks and Italian vegetables to Poland: tomatoes, cauliflower, lettuce, leeks. The Poles called these new vegetables włoszczyzna, literally Italian things. The word is still used today. Every feast begins with bread and salt, chlebem I solą, the traditional Polish greeting. The szlachta, the Polish nobility, pride themselves on hospitality. To refuse a guest at your table is unthinkable. A 17th century poet writes, "Oh, good bread, when it is given to guests with salt and goodwill." This ritual survives in Polish weddings to this day. The staterooms of Wawel Castle. Tapestries cover the walls, the famous Sigismund Augustus collection, over 100 pieces. Here, the Sejm meets. Here, the Senate deliberates. Here, wedding receptions and balls are held. And here, the king entertains foreign dignitaries with food that defies imagination. The meal begins with soup, borscht, beetroot soup, blood red and glistening. Żurek, sour rye soup, fermented for days. Bouillon, kapuśniak, sauerkraut soup. And for summer, chłodnik, cold pink soup with beets and buttermilk, served when the heat makes hot food unbearable. Then comes the bigos, hunter's stew, wild boar, venison, hare, layered with sauerkraut and fresh cabbage, wild mushrooms, dried plums for sweetness, juniper berries, bay leaves, marjoram. The dish is cooked for days, reheated again and again. Each reheating deepens the flavor. The nobility's version contains only meat and exotic spices, no cabbage needed to stretch it. Pierogi appear at every feast, half-moon dumplings, but not the humble versions of later centuries. The royal pierogi are filled with truffles, with wild game, with dried fruits and exotic spices. The dough is tender, the fillings are luxurious, boiled first, then fried in butter until golden. The roasts are spectacular. Wild boar, venison, whole geese boiled in cream and mushrooms, then roasted. Goose in black gravy, colored, so the story goes, with a wisp of burnt straw. The meat is rubbed with saffron, nutmeg, cloves. These spices cost more than the meat itself. To use them lavishly is to display wealth. And then the pike. This is the master chef's secret. The fish is divided into 3 sections while still appearing whole. The head is fried until crisp. The middle is poached gently. The tail is roasted over flame. When served, it looks like a single fish. The guests discover the 3 textures only when they taste. This is Baroque cuisine: spectacle, illusion, surprise. The spices arrive from the east: black pepper, ginger, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, mace, cumin, and above all, saffron, worth its weight in gold. Armenian merchants bring them through Ottoman trade routes. The Commonwealth's position at the crossroads of Europe means access to both Western and Eastern markets. The flavors combine in ways we have forgotten, sweet and sour together, meat stewed with raisins and citrus, fish with sugar and vinegar. The generous use of fat, especially fatback. To modern palates, this. We know these dishes because of one man, Stanisław Czerniecki, master chef to the House of Lubomirski. In 1682, he published Compendium Ferculorum, the first Polish cookbook ever printed. Over 300 recipes, 100 for meat, 100 for fish, 100 for everything else. Each chapter ends with a master chef's secret. The Commonwealth is vast and diverse. From Lithuania comes chodnik, cold soup, and kolduni, meat turnovers. From Ukraine, borscht. From contact with the Ottomans, coffee and boza. The royal table reflects an empire that stretches from the Baltic to the Black Sea. Polish, Lithuanian, German, Hungarian, Armenian, Jewish cuisines, all mingled. The drinks are legendary. Mead, honey wine, ancient and sacred, Hungarian wine from the Tokaj region, and vodka, which Poland has been producing since the late 15th century. By the 17th century, Polish vodka is exported across Europe to the Netherlands, Denmark, England, Russia, Germany. It is the perfect aperitif, served before meals to open the appetite. The sweetest moment is the dessert course. Sweet suppers, whole feasts of confectionery given by bridegrooms on the eve of their weddings. Sugar sculptures of castles and palaces, marzipan coats of arms, trees made of candied fruit. The confectioners are sculptors, poets, heraldists. They transform a laden table into a garden with columns and triumphal arches. One feast is remembered above all others. Sigismund III hosts the papal legate Chaitini. The banquet is so magnificent that accounts of it survive for centuries. Dozens of courses, exotic spices by the handful, wines from 3 countries, and that pike, fried, boiled, and roasted, served as one. In 1596, Sigismund moves the capital to Warsaw, more centrally located, easier to govern from. But the coronations and burials will still happen at Wawel. The symbolic heart remains in Krakow. And wherever the king goes, the cooks follow. The Baroque cuisine spreads. Sigismund III will die in 1632. His body will be interred in Wawel Cathedral, in a tin coffin decorated with battle scenes. 45 years of reign, countless feasts. The Baroque cuisine will survive him. The spices will flow. The pike will still be served 3 ways. Until the Commonwealth falls and the recipes scatter, and all that remains is a cookbook from 1682 and the memory of bread and salt given with goodwill.